So it was a bit of an emotional moment for me. I've been calming down for a while, but just a second. It was the scariest thing that's happened in a long time. And I'm so grateful that it turned out good. Okay, so I'm gonna try to calm down here. I've been calming down for a while and I wanted to make a video while it was fresh on my mind. So today was the first time I decided to try Lola in a harness. I had a harness that I had adjusted and made some adjustments to it to make it fit her better. We did a bunch of test runs in the house with the leash. I had her in it. I let her kind of run with it and see if she could get out of it. I made adjustments, and then we did a bunch of test runs and she was doing just fine in it. And Piper's always fine in her vest and leash outside. She's been doing it since last year. She's just fine. So anyhow, I took them both outside and it was going pretty good. I was teaching Lola to stay with her sister, so if Piper hopped ahead, I touched Lola's butt and made her stay next to Piper, or I picked her up and put her next to Piper, and it was just fine. And Lola was kind of seeming like she was kind of done, so I had my Piper's blue blanket with me outside. So I was in the middle of picking up Lola and wrapping her up in the blanket, and it happened so fast it's hard to know exactly specifically what happened, but one thing that rabbits will always be afraid of is birds in the sky and stuff, because they can come swoop and take them away or whatever. Of course they can't pick up Piper, she's too big, but as I was wrapping up Lola, there were some like crows or ravens or something above us kind of close, and I kind of lost Piper's leash for a minute, and then Lola started panicking. Somehow in the midst of all that, I grabbed up Lola, but in the midst I didn't see Piper because I was more afraid that if Lola took off that she'd be gone. So I had Lola secure in the blanket and everything, and I did not see Piper. Um, she's fine. I'm just gonna say that this whole time so that you don't think that this is a bad story. It's just still emotional for me. Um, kind of in a good way too. But anyhow, so I didn't see Piper, and where we were at outside of my building, there was a corner that we walk around sometimes, and we weren't far from that corner. So I had Lola, and we walked around the corner, and there was Piper in her vest and her leash there. And I said, "Hi, Piper. Hi, honey. Let's go get a treat. Let's go home." I was trying all the keywords and everything, and then I just kind of sat down with Lola, not too far from her, seeing if she'd come up to me, and she was just kind of sitting there, kind of like, "What's going on?" look in her face, but she wasn't running away. And so I had never once, because it would be stupid to test this, let her go outside to see if she would run away. There would be no reason I'd ever test that on purpose. So anyhow, so I had Lola, and I got up and I walked towards her, and Piper didn't run. She didn't go anywhere. She just sat there, and she waited for me to come up and pick her up and get the leash. And that just surprised me so much, because although I know she's a very good rabbit, I've taught her a lot, and she's very loyal, she's also kind of a more wild animal than a cat or a dog. And I thought she was gonna take off, and she didn't. And so I scooped them both up, and unfortunately, even though I had her, the way meltdowns work is all the thoughts are in my head what was happening. What could have happened, they don't just go away. So I walked in my building and I went and sat in the elevator just because I knew it'd be closed quarters and I could sit down and catch my breath. And Piper, the whole time we were in there, because Lola was on my lower right side and Piper was kind of on my upper left side, she would go down, sniff Lola, make sure she was okay, and then she would come back up into the position that I taught her to do. When I'm having a meltdown, she'd come and she'd climb up right here, put her head right there, and I kept kissing her and telling her she's such a good girl, and that my tears were all over her. And I, as much as I wanted to, I could not calm myself down, even though I had them both, because it was just so, it was really scary for me. I don't know what I would have done. So anyhow, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to make it upstairs with these two. So I decided to scoot forward with both of them and hit the door button on the elevator, and then I just kind of put my foot out, and although I hate the sound of the annoying beep that it does when the door's held open, I can't yell out or anything like that. I was hoping somebody would hear the elevator, would walk by or something, and I just stayed sitting there holding the two of them. Piper's still nuzzling up to me, trying to calm me down. And finally, one of my neighbors that I don't know very well was going to the door, and I said, "Hello, excuse me." And he came up, and he's like, "Yeah, are you okay?" I said, "Can you just grab Piper for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, what's wrong?" And I just said that I was that one of them almost got away, and that I was having a bit of a meltdown, and he got up Piper, and as we were walking upstairs, I explained to him what happened, and that it was Lola's first time out on a leash and a harness, and that Piper almost, I thought Piper got away, but she didn't. And so when we finally got in, I gave Piper like 5 treats. They're only supposed to have about 5 a day, but it's okay. She deserves that and everything else in the world. I still can't believe that she's a wild rabbit and she's afraid of the birds, and all she did was go around the corner and wait for me. And I'm just so grateful. It was just so scary. I don't know what I would have done. She means the world to me. She does so much for me. And the whole time I'm having the meltdown, she just kept nuzzling up to me, trying to calm me down. And so I'm just still trying to come out of it and calm myself down. I'm watching a show on my phone, and they're both fine now. Oh, where's Lola? There's Lola. And Piper's black, and it's dark over there. Oh, where are they? She's over there, under the thing over there, and she's just fine. They're just fine. I'm fine too. It was the scariest thing for me. And it's like a mixture, because I am so amazed and so proud of Piper. Because last year when I first got her and I first started training her in a harness, she would freak out about the birds sometimes, and she would try to back out of her harness, and almost ran away once until I grabbed her leash last year when she was very, very new. I had only had her a few months, and she's come so far, and I know that she really loves me, and this is our family, and she went around the corner, didn't get away from the birds, but she just was waiting for me. So Anyhow, I really wanted to share that while it was fresh on my mind. The scariest things I've had happen, and it just turned out so good. Um, so gonna wait a while to take Lola back out again. The weather's been warmer, and I've been wanting to take Piper out and everything, and she's been out the past couple days by herself and done just fine. I mean, she's hopping around with me holding the leash now, and that's a big improvement. Like she does not too fond of the leash, but last year she would only hop and then turn around as if I was chasing her. And now she understands the concept of the leash more, and she likes to go around and eat all the grass and the leaves and stuff, and I'm just so grateful to have her. She's truly special.